genetic factors. And when you say genetic factors, papasok na yung usapin dyan doon sa previous topics natin on G and E interaction, right? So genetic factors, yun yung G dito. So it encompasses lahat ng internal characteristics ng ating halaman. It determines yung, for example, ano yung potential ng halaman in terms of its growth, ano yung potential niya in terms of its productivity, in terms of resistance, etc. So yun yung mga titignan natin. Ano-ano ba yung mga genetic factors that we are looking into in relation to crop growth and development? First off is the factor on genotype. Now, what is genotype? Basically, ito yung genetic makeup ng ating halaman. Yung genetic makeup na yan yung blueprint that dictates kung ano ba yung magiging performance ng ating halaman. And as you remember it, sabi ko sa inyo, ang genotype acts as a cap. Okay? It acts as a limit sa kung ano ba yung limitation. Well, it acts as a limit that sets yung ano lang ba yung kayang gawin ng halaman. So for example, ang genotype ng halaman natin is tutubo lang siya by up to 5 feet tall. Kung yun yung genetic makeup niya, yan na yung limit niya. Hindi siya pwedeng maging 5.1, 5.26, etc. Okay? Kahit pag gaano kaganda yung environment mo, pero kapag ang limit ng kanyang genotype is 5 feet lang, edi 5 feet lang po yun. When we're talking about genotype, we're talking about two concepts as well. We're talking about the concept of genome, which is very important. Kasi ito na yung upper limit ng ating halaman, yung kanyang limitation na sinasabi ko in terms of yield, quality, and resistance. And we're also talking about variability. Okay? Variability, or ano ba yung pagkakaiba niya, yung difference niya among other plant varieties. And variability is a very important factor, especially among plant breeders. Kasi tinitignan ng mga plant breeders kung gaano ka-different yung halaman na yon and how can they integrate or combine this specific variability para mag-create ng isang superior na variety. Another genetic factor that we are considering is the selection indices, which is very important because choosing the right crop variety ay isa sa mga pinaka-critical na desisyon sa crop production. Especially kapag sa mga staple crops natin katulad ng rice, corn, and coconut. And selection indices basically mean ano ba yung criteria ng pagpili natin sa mga ibibreed natin or sa mga halaman na gusto nating paramihin. So ito yung tatlong major criteria. For example, growth characteristics. Tinitignan ng mga plant breeders yung plant height. Ano yung growth rate? Yung maturity period, because all of this affects yield and adaptability of your crop. Another thing is the quality of the crop or the quality of the product. Katulad ng, when we're talking about rice, ano yung grain size? Okay, gaano kalaki yung butil? Yung taste, right? Ano yung nutritional content? Nutritional content, when we're talking about rice, kasama dyan yung golden rice natin, which is induced with vitamin A. Okay? Quality also refers to the shelf life of our product. And finally, market acceptability. Kahit pa gaano kaganda yung produkto mo, kapag hindi yan tinanggap ng market, hindi yan magagamit. One classic example I remember, I have a professor noon when I was in college who told us this story na meron daw silang dinevelop na patatas. And it's a high-yielding potato. The problem is, yung patatas na yun, mukha daw siyang tsinelas. Okay, so, ibig sabihin, medyo flat yung style ng patatas. Masarap naman yung quality, high-yielding yung variety, pero yung bunga niya, parang tsinela. Yung kanyang tuber, parang tsinelas. So, sinubukan nilang ibenta yun sa market and apparently, walang gustong bumili because the shape is so weird. So, that is an illustration on how market acceptability can affect crop production. And finally, talking about genetic factors, we have our GMOs na umuuso ngayon, or genetically modified organisms. Okay? Ito yung latest advancement ngayon sa biotechnology, specifically for crop improvement. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng mga GMOs or paano ba nagagawa ang GMOs? Basically, GMOs are made by transferring a specific gene to another organism, such as our plant, in order to enhance its desired traits. So, for example, yung BT corn natin, right? Yung BT corn. Okay? Paano nagawa yung BT corn? Well, basically, kinuha nila yung gene ng BT, which means Bacillus thuringiensis. So, ito is isa itong microorganism. I think it's a bacteria. So, kinuha nila yung gene ng BT, okay? And yung gene na to would actually kill corn borers. Okay? So, kinuha nila, in-extract nila yung gene from the Bacillus thuringiensis and in-inject nila sa corn. So, therefore, yung corn, nagkaroon siya ng genetic resistant against the corn borer. Because of the gene, not because of the gene ng corn, but because of the gene of your Bacillus thuringiensis. So GMOs is an advancement ngayon that allows us to innovate yung ating mga crops, specifically in this modern age and time, na sandamakmak yung problema na hinaharap natin, environmentally speaking. Now, what are the advantages of GMO? It does improve yield and reduces losses due to pests and diseases. May mga GMOs that also enhances nutritional content and food security, katulad ng ating golden rice, which is a rice induced with vitamin A. It also reduces reliance on chemical pesticide, katulad ng BT corn natin. Instead nga naman na sprayan mo ng sprayan, yung BT corn mo, ay yung corn mo, hindi na kailangan kasi meron na siyang natural resistance against corn borers. So it can reduce application of harmful pesticides. However, amidst all of the advantages of the GMO, meron din siyang risk, meron ding concern. So, for one, merong potential transfer of transgenes to wild relatives or soil microorganisms na hindi maaaring maganda. So, genes na hindi maganda. It can target beneficial organisms like pollinators. So, iniba mo, yung gene ng halaman, pinatay naman niya yung mga natural na beneficial organisms dapat nung halaman na yon. It can also, and because of this, pwede niyang pabilisin yung pest adaptation to resistant trait. Pwede ka rin makakreate basically ng any allergies or toxic substances within the crop that you have genetically modified. And there is an ethical and environmental implication as well na ipinaglalaban naman ng mga groups na anti-GMOs. Okay? Well, so far, hindi naman ganun kabigat yung claim nila in relation to that GMO can harm us. Basically, medyo gray yung area na yon, whether GMO harms us or it actually benefits us. I mean, in relation to direct harm, kapag kumain ka daw ng GMO, baka magkasakit ka or baka ikaw magkaroon ka rin ng sariling mutation, wala namang malinaw na ebidensya that happens at all.